Have you ever wondered why an entire country can suddenly celebrate like one big Fame-a-Limogene this it is late at night? Referee blows the final whistle. Vietnam has just won an important football match. Within minutes, the streets begin to fill with people. Thousands of motorbikes appear from every direction. Young people wave red flags. Children sit on their parents' shoulders. Grandadults stand outside their homes smiling as cars and motorbikes pass by. Complete strangers cheer together as if they have known each other for years. See, if you saw this for the first time, you might think Vietnamese people are simply crazy about football, but football is only the beginning of the story. What you are really seeing is something much deeper. You are seeing the heart of Vietnam's spirit that has connected generations long before modern cities and skyscrapers ever existed. Many people know Vietnam because of Fossum. No, our cathedras still remember the history of war. But if you ask me what truly defines Vietnamese, answer will always be the Samite is our people back ours. The greatest strength of this country has never been our beautiful beaches or our growing economy. It has always been the people who stand beside each other no matter what happens. That spirit begins inside every family, and Vietnam family is more than parents and children. Many homes still have grandparents living together with the younger generation. Children grow up surrounded by love, advice, and responsibility. Trust for elders is not something taught. One seat is practiced every single day. Dinner is one of the most important moments of the day. No matter how busy life becomes, many families still try to sit together around one table. They talk about work, school, and problems. Severian listens because everyone matters. Even a simple question like "Have you eaten?" means much more than asking about food. It means I care about you. We hope you are safe. I am happy to see other small moments shape the way Vietnamese people see the world. As children, we learn that life is easier when people help each other. When a neighbor needs help carrying something, someone will always step forward. When an elderly person crosses the street, someone will slow down and offer assistance. When a family celebrates a wedding, the whole neighborhood often joins in to help prepare the food, decorate the house, and welcome the guests. Nobody expects a reward. Helping each other is simply part of everyday life. Perhaps that is why visitors often say Vietnamese people are friendly. Kindness they experience is not created for tourists. It is the same kindness people show each other every day. Of course, Vietnam is changing. New highways connect cities. Modern buildings continue to rise. Young people dream bigger than ever before. But beneath all those changes, something has remained the same. The belief that no one succeeds alone. That every family, every neighborhood, and every community becomes stronger when people care for one another. I believe this is the real foundation of Vietnam. Not concrete, not steel, not technology, but trust, compassion. The quiet belief that when one person becomes stronger, everyone becomes stronger. Before you understand the history of Vietnam, before you understand our economy, our culture, you first have to understand our people because the heart of Vietnam has never been found inside buildings. It has always been found inside the people who call this country home. Asterisk if you want to understand Vietnam, though, not only visit the famous place come when life becomes difficult, because that is when the true character of Vietnamese people begins to appear every year. Vietnam faces powerful storms, floods, stippies, laws. Entire villages are surrounded by water. Families lose their home, children lose their schools, farmers lose the crops they spent months growing. For many countries, these disasters become headlines. In Vietnam, they become a call for action. Almost immediately, people begin asking the same question: how can I help? Students donate their savings, office workers give part of their salary, restaurants prepare free meals, truck drivers volunteer to deliver food and clean water, doctors travel to remote villages, young volunteers spend days carrying supplies through flooded roads just to reach families they have never met. No one asks who those people voted for, how much money they have here, where they come from. They only see another Vietnamese family that needs help. There is an old Vietnamese saying, healthy leaves protect the torn ones. A very Vietnamese child grows up hearing these words, but they are more than just a proverb. They become part of everyday life. Helping others is not seen as something extraordinary. It is simply the right thing to do. A spirit can also be seen in the smallest moments. Walk through any neighborhood in Vietnam. A grandmother carrying heavy bags rarely carries them for long before someone offers to help. A street vendor who forgets their wallet may find another vendor paying for breakfast. A family preparing for a wedding often has neighbors arriving early to cook, decorate, and welcome guests. When someone builds a new house, relatives and friends come together to help, not because they are paid, but because one day they may need the same kindness in return. This is how communities become strong, not through wealth but through trust. Many visitors tell me that Vietnam feels different. They cannot always explain why. I think the answer is simple. People here still believe that success means very little if you forget the people around you. That is why generosity often appears in the most unexpected places. You may see someone sharing an umbrella with a complete stranger during heavy rain, a shop owner giving free drinking water to delivery drivers during the hottest days of summer, a family inviting a traveler to join them for dinner simply because they do not want anyone to eat alone. These are not famous stories. They never appear on international news, but they happen every single day, and together they create something that cannot be measured by numbers. They create trust, they create friendship, they create communities where people know they are never truly alone. Vietnam is changing rapidly. Cities continue to grow. Technology is changing how people live. Life is becoming faster every year, but even as the country moves forward, many of these values remain. Parents still teach children to respect others, neighbors still look after one another, communities still come together when life becomes difficult. Perhaps That is why Vietnam has been able to overcome so many challenges throughout history. Because every individual is strong, but because millions of ordinary people choose to stand together, and when a nation never forgets how to care for one another, it becomes stronger than any building, stronger than any road, and stronger than any storm. Asterisk. Now let me take you back to where this story began. A football match to many people around the world. It is simply a game in 18 minutes zone, winner only loser, life moves on. But in Vietnam sometimes it feels different. When the national team wins, streets transform within minutes, thousands become hundreds of thousands become millions. Motorbikes fill every road, people wave red flags from every direction, children sit on their parents' shoulders. Friends hug each other, complete strangers smile as if they have known each other for years. For one night nobody cares where you were born, how much money you have, what job you do, what language you speak. For one night Tevayon is simply Vietnamese. Many visitors believe they are watching football celebrations, but what they are really seeing is something much older than football. Football did not create this spirit, it simply gives people a reason to express its same feeling. Appears every national day when streets are covered in red flagships proudly display the Vietnamese flag. School, scarf, shop, small businesses, apartment balconies, even tiny fishing boats carry the same colors. To some people it is just a flag. To many Vietnamese it represents generations of sacrifice. It reminds us that everything we enjoy today was built through the hard work of millions of ordinary people. That is why the flag means so much, not because it is a symbol of perfection, but because it represents hope, unity, and the belief that the future belongs to everyone. Vietnam is not a perfect country. We still face many challenges. Traffic, pollution, econ differences, and many families continue to work incredibly hard every single day. But despite those challenges, we'll continue moving forward together. That is the part of Vietnam I wish more people could see. Not only the beautiful beaches, not only the delicious food, not only the history, but the people back ours. Every country has famous landmarks, every country has beautiful places, but not every country has a spirit that can bring millions of strangers together in a single moment. Have always believed that the greatest treasure of Vietnam is not something you can photograph, it is something you can only feel. You feel it when a stranger helps you without expecting anything in return. You feel it when an entire neighborhood celebrates together. You feel it when families open their doors to friends and visitors, and you feel it when millions of people proudly wave the same flag with tears of joy in their eyes. That is the Vietnam I know. That is the Vietnam I grew up loving, and that is the Vietnam I hope the world will come to understand. If this video helped you see Vietnam in a different way, then welcome to Inside Vietnam Backhouse. This is only the beginning of our journey. There are still many stories waiting to be told, and I hope you will be here to discover every one of them together. As I travel through Vietnam, I often ask myself one simple question: what makes this country so special? Is it the mountains, the beaches, the food, or the cities that continue to grow every year? I do not think so, because every country has beautiful places. Every country has famous landmarks. Every country has something unique. But what I have found in Vietnam is something much harder to describe. It is the people, their kindness, higher resilience, their willingness to help someone they have never met, and their ability to stand together during both the happiest and the hardest moments. Vietnam is still growing, still have challenges to overcome. There are roads to build, schools to improve, families working every day to create a better future for their children. But if there is one thing that gives me confidence about the future, it is knowing that the Vietnamese spirit has never disappeared. Generation after generation, it continues to live in ordinary people, in parents who sacrifice everything for their children, in workers who never give up, in volunteers who help strangers without asking for anything in return, in millions of people who proudly wave the same red flag, not because they are told to, but because they truly love the country they call home. That is the Vietnam I know, not the Vietnam you only read about in history books, not the Vietnam you see in travel advertisements. The Vietnam I experience every single day. A country built by ordinary people with extraordinary determination. And if one day you decide to visit Vietnam, I hope you will do more than see the famous place. Talk to the people, share a meal with a local family, drink coffee on a quiet street, watch children playing in the neighborhood, because that is where you will discover the real Vietnam. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this story, please subscribe to Inside Vietnam Backhouse. There are still countless stories waiting to be told, and I cannot wait to share them with you. See you in the next episode.